left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, Squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 298.5, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, so you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes please.
Ever correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 13 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance, plus 4658 is type PC12 slam call, request clearance to Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas Airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7. Squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expected for 085, departure 166 hours, plus 6316 plus 465.
Plus 4658, readback is correct. Tango India Mike, taxi to ground via Aqua English frequency.
Taxiing to the RAM, remain on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left traffic. Left downwind runway 26 left at port base.
Enter left downwind 26 left, and we'll call you base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower United 242 on the visual for 20 right, we'll be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242 John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170 at 13.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Papa Hotel Tango 220 Kilo ILS 524.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 11. Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ground plus 4658 is traffic to weather going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Turn right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 291 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 cleared low approach, report missed.
November 293 Alpha, cleared low approach, runway 9. Next report is missing.
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go turning right at Bravo.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff to run right plus 465.
Papa Hotel India 560 Kilo located 24.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, Archer taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha.
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking base.
We're 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
Southbound via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed.
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the published missed approach procedure. November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure. Number 2903 Alpha.
Hey guys, good to see you. Just Alex. Good to see you again, man. Norbert. Hi guys, welcome to the stream. Oh man, I've been looking forward all day, and my dad obviously. Hey dad, been looking so much forward to fly today. And I've been tinkering with my stream here with OBS. I've got some good things to show you guys. As you know, I've got a new PC built for a couple of months now, but never did I. Hey Alex, good to see you. Never did I tinker with the streaming settings. So I was always streaming based on my previous computer, which wasn't that strong or that powerful. And so I tried, well, let's just see whether I can stream with 60 frames per second. And amazingly, without any FPS drop, without any frames per second drop in X-Plane, OBS seems to manage just fine, which is great because I'm an avid TrackIR user, as you know. And especially when you're moving your head that fast, having a lot of frames per second really helps. And I will show you in just a second. It's really great. Hey Alex, two Alexes here in the house. Good to see you. Welcome on board, guys. What I also did was just to make this welcome screen or slide, as some of you suggested in the previous stream, so that you can start joining or jump aboard just before I start with the actual flight itself, which I think is a great idea. So it's also the stream has also become a little bit more fancy, which I always like. We're currently at Palm Springs, and also that's another thing. I did my own design, my own livery here for the Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, yellow. Papa Hotel Tango India Mike. You know, yellow is the color of my project. Hey Laurie, good to see you. Welcome on the stream. I was actually quite inspired. It's a remake, you could say, of an actual livery of the AOPA Cessna 150 or 152, which actually has quite a similar design, and it's made especially for students, I believe, which really fits the uncertified pilot. So I thought, let's make one ourselves as well. But then one signed for the uncertified pilot, and I think it's really, really pretty. Also helps in untowered airports just to refer to the yellow Skyhawk, because it is quite yellow. So I'm really, really pleased with this, and cannot wait to show it off here on stream. What I also did, let's hop on to the cockpit. Let's unpause TrackIR here. Did some remakes here in the cockpit itself. So this is my trusty sticky note, and as you know, for those who have been following me for some time, I'm not a great clock user, and using the clock for navigation is really, really important. Oh, a car just drives by. Hey, it's really, really important, right? Estimated time, elapsed time. I usually had this sticker put on this side here of my panel to remind me to use the clock, but I thought, well, mostly I just forget using the clock because I'm too focused on my nav instruments. So actually that sticker should be over there. So I moved it over here so that when I'm using the OBS here, I remind myself to also, or set a new frequency to also use the clock. So that's what I did. Uncertified Pilot logo, my Twitter handle and stuff, which I think also personalizes the cockpit a bit, and my trusty sticker, one of the first, I believe the first flight that I actually took with my dad, and an instructor here to fly, which has always been part of my cockpit. So yeah, here we are. And perhaps, guys, you already noticed how smooth the screen is, which is really, really helpful with TrackIR, and apparently unbelievably without any FPS loss here on in X-Plane. So I really, really love the fact that I'm able just to stream with this quality on, and I hope you do as well. Let me see, I've prepared some notes just so that I don't miss out on anything. So yeah, new intros, new outros, 720p, that's the quality of the stream right now with 60 frames per second. Yes. New livery, new cockpit. I also updated the UncertifiedPilot.com website, my blog, with new information. Also now revamped as part of the X-Plane flight sim that I'm now using. I don't use Prepared or FSX anymore. I'm an X-Plane user from now on. So I think that the site should represent that. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to stream each Tuesday and Friday a little bit earlier than usual, 1500 Zulu time, and also in the weekends, which is great. So I refigured my schedule to free up some time because I just love to fly, and just even off stream I like to fly. So I just need to find some time to get behind here on my flight simulator. So I found some time. So that means that I will probably stream from now on again about 3 times each week. Which I think is really, really exciting as well. So I hope you guys will join in on the stream because I really like your company. Also, not only as fellow pilots, but perhaps also as kind of like instructors to help me improve my flying, because that's what the Uncertified Pilot is all about. Yeah, so I've updated that stream schedule, I think also here on my Twitch page. That's new, and I think it's also really good news. And that means that I'm going to prepare for my Cat 7 rating, as I already mentioned in the previous stream. And what I'm going to do today, I thought, is just to practice again with some basic navigational skills, because mine are not that well developed yet, or perhaps they were, but I need to dust off those skills. So I thought, let's just do a simple hop here from Palm Springs, the airport where we left off, and go to 29 Palms, which is not a long flight, but it's a nice one. So currently we're at Palm Springs, as you can see here, and we just go up north, not use any radio navigation, and go to 29 Palms, an untowered airport here to the north. Very, very basic, and also going to enjoy that really, really pretty photoreal scenery, which I really, really like. Norbert, Tim, just a quick question. Did you make the Uncertified website yourself, or did you use a third-party website like a drag and drop? No, I built myself. It's WordPress based though, but I made it myself. Yeah, so I don't know how many nautical miles this might be. Yeah, 46 nautical miles, a 28-minute flight, at least in cruise. So a really nice flight, and especially I would like to focus on using pilotage, so only using visual reference points to navigate. So as you see, a lot of a highway here that we can follow. Sure, it should be pretty basic, but let's start with the basics first and then advance towards preparing myself for that Cat 7 rating. So Yucca Valley is also another untowered airport that we might recognize while we're flying, and we follow the highway all the way to 29 Palms. And depending on the winds, we just pick a runway, or perhaps other guys there are already flying and using a particular runway. We will find out very, very soon. So simple. So let's do this from scratch again. I'm flying the default stock Cessna Skyhawk here, so it doesn't include a really fancy pre-flight dynamic and options and features. But I'd like to include as part of my pre-flight a proper flight planning. Also weather. So I'm going to do that again because I think it's really, really fun to do, and it also relates, or it's useful also in terms of flight sim, because we've got quite sophisticated weather currently on. I'm using xEnviro, and to be honest, still there need to be some upgrades there with the software to even make it more real world, but still it works for a significant extent. So I think it's relevant just to review the weather. It's also just fun to look at weather maps. So let's hop over in ForeFlight to the weather and start with the basics. So high pressure air mass, as you can see, so that generally already indicates good weather. So it's good again to have a general picture of what the weather is doing, even though we're only flying a really short flight, a small flight here in Palm Springs. You can see the lake over there, Salt Lake, very small there. So there's Palm Springs. It's good to have a bigger picture of what the weather is doing. Then rain, precipitation, well, none. That seems to be fine. This is a very interesting chart as usual. This is called significant weather, or I don't know what the charts are actually called anymore. I should review those names. But the interesting part is here is that these charts are actually is weather interpreted by, you could say, pilots. So they categorize classify particular weather in terms of IMC, instrument weather, IFR weather. That's the red stuff. So ceilings less than 1,000 feet and visibility less than 3 miles. So that we should stay away from. Then marginal VFR. It's still VFR. So as private pilots, we're legal to fly in that kind of weather, but it might be quite challenging and scary. So even your personal limits, weather limits, might not allow you to, and these are just informal limitations that you set yourself, but still it might be very, very challenging. For example, here, 3 to 5 nautical miles of visibility. Okay, so we are able to fly with 4 nautical miles of visibility. Well, try to do that, especially when you're up high and need to rely on visual reference points. Flying with 4 nautical miles of visibility, while it's still VFR, is very, very challenging or even scary. So, yeah, even marginal VFR, marginal VMC is weather that we, well, would preferably avoid. But still, and turbulence and freezing. So that's really, really great. So as you can see here, we've got on the left side, this is at 06 Zulu, the left bottom there, and this is valid until 18 Zulu, and it's currently, I know you guys cannot see, at the bottom here of my ForeFlight, it says that we're currently around 1900 Zulu. So the right chart is most recent, and you can see there is some marginal VMC coming up from the sea near the here on the west side. Well, most of all, if you know the weather system, especially here on SoCal, mostly the bad weather just stays just along the coast on the above the water and doesn't necessarily need to come into to land. But still, that's why it's also important just to look at the winds and other stuff. So again, this is more precise, still general weather, but it shows us that we might be in a good place to fly. Air mats. So as you can see, again, these are also interpreted by well, aviators, you could say. So there's IFR weather above the sea there, which is, this is issued at 1500 Zulu or Q4 before, and it's valid until 1500. So yeah, that's a very short duration, I guess. Is this always such a short time? Just 15 minutes? That seems quite short. Well, anyway. Yeah, so that and that confirms the marginal VMC weather, right? Here on 1800 Zulu, as you can see there, and also some IMC there above the water. So confirms. Okay, so there's the bad weather in our case, and this is valid until 1800. Yeah, so this is a much more valid or recent weather map that we should actually have a look on. But it's good to also to look at previous or more outdated charts, because then you can see the development weather. Not only at looking at the most recent chart, but then you have a more picture of what the weather is actually doing, which is more informative than just having a snapshot. Yeah, so again, 1800. So again, you can see IMC just staying there above the ocean, and that's now something that we can say, right? So in midday it was over the ocean. Later in the day it was still on the ocean. So it's most likely stationary weather. No convective, so no thunderstorms, big cloud buildups, so that's good as well. And now my iPad needs to think a bit. I think these are the temperature or the wind. I don't know what the next charts are. Data unavailable. ForeFlight, you can do it. You can do it, ForeFlight. And if not, perhaps we're just gonna select those. Let me see if I can just pick them out like from the list. No. Ceilings. Perhaps ForeFlight has some trouble, real trouble here to access those weather charts. Well, ceilings and visibility we can also get from METARs. So we can just go to the maps and just have a look at those. Okay, so it's apparently not available. Are these available? No. Okay, that's a bummer. Alright, so then let's go to the map then. As you can see already, looking generally at all the colors here, the categories of all the weather stations from each airport, you can see there's a lot of VMC, right? The green color is VMC weather, good weather, So that's good. And along our route, the same applies. So we just can go here to Palm Springs. Oh, there's a fuel truck. METAR. Yeah, so Palm Springs, we've got 8 nautical mile, 8 knot wind coming from 05050, all right, 10 statute miles of visibility and clear skies. Well, that's just great, great, great weather. Let's have a quick peek here outside. Yeah, well, you can see we've got some high altitude clouds, but that's it, all right. Along the route, well, non-towered airports do not, I don't think they have METAR. Do they have METARs? No, just nearby METARs. Okay, so the next one is just 29 Palms, I guess. Oh, this is not this one, because this is also a non-towered airport, is that one. Does have a METAR, so it's, I guess it's related to the weather that we can expect near 29 Palms, the untowered airport. Hey, that's something that I'm not familiar with. Can I zoom in on this particular piece of text? No. What does COR mean? Just before the winds, I don't know if you guys can see. Just before the winds information chunk, there's COR. What does that mean? Does anyone know what that means? Let me know. 10 statute miles of visibility, few clouds at 22,000. Oh, right. So we got, again, high clouds. And I guess those are the clouds that we see just in front of us, because 29 Palms is over there. So in other words, we've got calm winds, great weather. Now I would also like to see, and that's something I don't know if Palm Springs had also forecast. TAFs, right. Let me see if I can interpret these as well. So you can only look at the current weather, so the METARs, the ATIS, so what's the weather currently, but you can also see, the people on the airport are also doing specific, very local forecasts of the weather that only apply to the aerodrome of the airport itself. So just a 5 nautical mile range around the airport. And as you can see, all these 3 rules here, just beneath the first ATIS chunk there, a piece of information, FM, I don't know what that means, becoming or something, I don't know what that means, but are also in green. So it means that in the next few hours, the weather will still be green, so VMC. So that's good as well. As you can see here, they are translated into, so current, this is 1800 Zulu, 5 knot wind, and at 02 Zulu, so that would be tomorrow, the wind is a little bit stronger, but I guess then it's also at night, and well, we are already at 29 Palms from this point on, but it's good to know that the weather will still be VMC. Let's see if we can do the same with 29 Palms, if they offer TAFs, terminal area forecast, I believe. I don't know what the abbreviation is for. Forecast. Yeah, and as you can see here also, green, 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 green. Any significant things? 8 knots, 8 knots, more than 6 statute miles. Good. So we've got good weather, even for this small hop over to 29 Palms. That's good to know. Okay, then let's review the flight itself. So in terms of fuel, ForeFlight, well, it's calculating now we're going to fly at 7,500. I think that's a little bit too high up. We can just stay around 3,000 AGL, so just above the terrain. We can then also use the terrain to as a visual reference point. So let's just pick 3,000. We've got a 3 knot headwind according to ForeFlight. And we're going to fly to a easterly direction. Doesn't really matter because you only need to stick to those westerly or easterly VFR altitudes when you're above 3,000 feet AGL. Below, it doesn't really matter. You can pick your own altitudes. What I've read, by the way, which was quite interesting in the AOPA Flight Training magazine, was that they actually recommend you not below 3,000 feet AGL not to fly on 2,500 or 2,000 or 1,500, but pick altitudes that are in between those altitudes. So 1,700 or 2,800, because most people fly on 2,500 or 3,000 as an altitude, and so just to reduce the risk of flying into someone else, just pick an irregular, unusual cruising altitude, and that's not something that you can do above 3,000 feet AGL, because then you need to stick to those westerly, easterly VFR altitudes, which I think is interesting. Hey Dad, thanks. COR is corrected observation. All right. Corrected observation. So if we look at 29 palms, COR, corrected observation. So it means just an updated ADAS. I don't know what it actually then means. But thank you for looking that up. Hey, FlightLogic, good to see you. FlightLogic is... You changed your name, right? Weren't you Flight Saitek or some... You had a different avatar name, I believe. But anyway, thank you for joining in. Disregard the previous. Okay, that... well, I will look that up, what that COR means. Okay, we need about 8 or 9 gallons of fuel. So let's make sure when we start up the Cessna to make sure that we have 46 nautical miles. That's all fine as well. We've got terrain. When we go up north, what kind of terrain do we have? Well, we're just going to follow the contours of the scenery there, so we don't have any visibility issues, or we could just we just climb up. As long as we stay below 3,000 feet HL, that's fine. But still, we've got some terrain to the left side here. Very high mountain peak here at 12,000 feet. We follow the highway. Nothing really dangerous going on there. I do see a military route, a VR1257, and on PilotEdge, these are very usually flown by high-speed aircraft, military jets. So we're going to cross that one, and we need to be very conscious while we do. So we could say we could actually need flight following here, so that the air traffic controllers could also have a look, take a look with us, and warn us if there's any traffic on that route. Because it's such a short hop, I'm not going to. We just need to be aware when we cross that particular corridor, so we don't fly into that military airspace. Now, by telling the numbers, this is a 4-digit number military air route, a grade airway. So you can tell that it's a military airway. It means, and I don't know by heart anymore, guys. Man, Flight Saitek, right? Okay, good to see you, man. Welcome on board. If a 4-digit number means that you've got 3-digit number or 3-digit military airways, and you've got 4-digit airways, and the 4-digit one, I believe, are the low-flying military aircraft below 1,500 feet HL, I believe. And if it's a 3-digit military airway, they fly above 1,500 feet. So because we are flying below 3,000 feet, and this might be a low altitude military air route. I don't know for sure anymore, guys. Let me know if I'm correct here. But it's a 4-digit one, so these are low-flying military aircraft. We need to be especially aware of those flying around here. Now, the blue airways are Victor airways. These are mostly related to IFR flying. Do not really concern us, but again, because IFR flights are also simulated here on PilotEdge, we might also find that there are other aircraft flying those airways. I thought initially, by the way, that as VFR pilots, it's recommended to also fly those Victor airways. For example, if you would like to go to the north, well, pick Victor 386 and just fly that one. These are all These Victor airways are always connected from VOR to VOR. And I thought, well, that makes sense. But actually, there's no reason at all, even no use at all, for VFR pilots to fly those Victor airways. There are even more disadvantages, because mostly there's IFR traffic on those Victor airways, and especially here on PilotEdge, aircraft will be flying along those routes. So it's much better to just stay clear of Victor airways to begin with, which is interesting, I think. Let me see. So other airspace, well, obviously here to the north of 29 palms, we've got all kinds of restricted airspace that we need to stay clear of, but we easily can. So that means that when we follow this highway to 29 palms, we just need to stay a little bit to the south side of it, which is okay. We've got some terrain here to the south, but it's not really that significant, so that's good as well. In terms of deviations, if we have a engine out, we have Yucca Valley here and some other Williams as an airport that we can use to do an emergency landing. This fuel truck just likes to be on the stream, I guess. It just makes circles around the ramp. My gosh. Okay. Yeah. Any other things that we need to think of? Let me just grab the checklist, guys. I need to be much more checklist driven. Even though as experienced pilots, it's good to use the checklist while you're flying. And actually, I do this by heart, but I'm probably missing out on something. Let me see. Flight planning. So route. We did airports. We did. Oh yeah. Facilities. Well, it's not really that relevant in our case, but in case we don't have that much fuel, it's also good to know whether 29 Palms actually provides fueling stations. How can we know? Well, the first thing that comes to mind by me right now is that star on top of that airport symbol, I think suggests airport facilities. I don't know for sure. Again, guys, let me know. Hey, Scotty, good to see you. Welcome on board, man. Flight service. Can I just see a very typical? Is there just a row here? Just says fuel. Yeah, fuel. So there's fuel, and also the right kind of fuel that we need. So that's also a consideration when you are planning your flight. Also, when you're flying at night, whether the runways are actually lit up or not, because not every runway does. In one of my previous flights, we flown to a particular airport, non-towered airport, and there weren't any lights. Well, good luck. Good luck with that. Route. Airports with runway. Is the runway long enough? Well, for a Cessna Skyhawk, I think there's no runway in the world that is too short, but still, it's good to check. Airspace, we did. Weather, we checked. Altitude, we checked. Diversions, we checked. Frequencies, well, we don't need any frequencies other than radio frequencies, which is pretty basic. Fuel, 9 gallons, we checked. Weight and ballast is okay. So we can submit a flight plan, which I think is really fun just to do, but that's just me, I guess. Not really relevant for PilotEdge in the real world, though. Finding a flight plan, I think, is not mandatory, but it's really highly recommended to do. You can also file a VFR flight plan here on PilotEdge, but the radio controllers will not look at this at all, so it's only information, I guess. It's just nice to do. Or it also is assigned to your airplane on the PilotEdge Aware site page. On the PilotEdge.net website, you can see actual live usage of the network, and you can see other pilots flying. And so when you click on my Papa Hotel Tango India Mike airplane around Palm Springs, then you can see this information as well and have a more contextual understanding of what I'm doing. Cessna 172 Slant Alpha. We're not Alpha anymore, we're Golf now because we have a GPS. Hey Sniper! Hey Tim, good to see you streaming again. What are we doing today? We're going to fly over to 29 Palms, and also what I'd like to do in between in that flight is just to also practice a little bit of coordinated flying and making turns, because to be honest, I'm not actually aware of making coordinated turns. And why did that trigger me? Because I was also reading in the magazine, AOPA Flight Training magazine, about stalls, especially occurring during a turn from base to final, especially when students are not making coordinated turns. And you can imagine when you're not making coordinated turns, then you also disrupt the airflow that's flowing around the airfoil around the wings, and that it increases actually your stall speed, your stall airspeed. Especially in traffic patterns, it's so important to stay coordinated. And to be honest, I don't really think about that. So I need to get that on my radar as well, and just figure out how much pressure do I need to stay coordinated. So I think it's going to be a challenge, to be honest. Sniper, cool, looking forward to it. Great, thanks. Flight plan. So Golf we are, because we've got GPS. Origin. Oh. Palm Springs. Destination. We've got KTNP. Route doesn't really matter for us. We're not flying IFR, and no one's going to see this. Altitude, let's just say 3000. Speed, true spirit, 100 knots is okay. Remarks, none. En route, minutes, 45 minutes. Fuel, I don't know by heart. But I think this is just fine. Doesn't really matter. File VFR. So again, let's check. Yeah, file VFR. Done. So our flight plan is filed. That means that we can actually start flying. Hey, let me put this over here. And again, guys, for those who are returning to my stream, we're now 60 FPS. It's fast. Still 720p 720p. I was trying 1080p, but I'm streaming on the same computer that I'm using to run Flight Simulator, and then my frame rates dropped to around 35, which is still good enough, but not good enough for me. I really like to be as smooth as possible, so I will just stick to 720p, but now with 60 FPS, and that's really helpful. I think really nice when I'm using TrackIR. Anyway, so yeah, let's start. So at Palm Springs, beautiful weather, nicely here on the ramp, connected to PilotEdge as always, and let's get started. So let's make sure that I'm cold and dark. My parking brakes are not set, they're set right now. No control wheel lock here in the default Skyhawk. Well, that's okay. Live vests, I pretend that we're just there. A fire extinguisher, that's there. Door is closed, windows are closed, ELT is set to auto. Cabin air, all that stuff. These are not interactive things, but I would like to have some cabin air, so I would have pulled this one. But anyway, flaps are up. At least the lever is up, but the actual flaps are also up. So that's good. Let's see if my throttle quadrant is in sync. It is. Let's see if my trim is in sync. It is. Fuel tank set to both. Cut off, not cut off, and is also good. This we're gonna set soon. Okay, nothing that we need to check here. The circuit breakers are all in and here as well. That's good. And this, am I synced here? Yeah, I'm synced there as well. Again, guys, if you're using X-Plane and like to configure your Saitek joystick or any joystick, use Spot Next. Spot Next. You can do a really sophisticated, also very basic, but sophisticated programming of your buttons. You can also download my profile because it's all shared online. Just search UncertifiedPilot and you download it, and you've got the same configuration that I'm using. It's very basic. So we got cold and dark. Let's now test the aileron, the controls. That looks good to the left, and that one goes down. Good. Ailerons up, down. Also check the trim. Yep, that's working. And our rudders are not working. That's interesting. Do I see them work there? No. Let me remove the parking brakes. Huh. Our rudder is not working. And that's why I need to do a flight control test. Let me see. They did work today, so I don't think it has anything to do with USBs or that kind of stuff. No, not flight configuration. Resume current flight. Let's look at our joystick. Where's my rudder system? That's weird. Can I untick or check anything, or is it just not there? Can I change that? No, I need to figure that out. Well, then the only way to fix that is just to do a... But then I cannot really practice my coordinated flying, because then I just connect my yoke as a rudder. I don't know how I can do that here, by the way. Yoke, can I just... Does anyone know what checkbox you need to check to make sure that you can use the yoke as a rudder as well? Or is that automatic? I don't know for sure. Quadrants. No. This is just roll. Yeah, but I'd like to add to this also. Perhaps that already works. Let me see. Yeah, it already is connected by default. Okay, but then coordinated flying is not something that we're going to practice today. That's weird. What's going on here? It did work just a few hours ago. Well, we need to figure that out as well. Let me see. We've got the check of the flight controls. Yeah, so what we're going to do is put on the batteries. Let's see how much fuel we have. Well, we've got about 12, so 24 gallons in total. That's about fine. That's okay to make the trip, so that's good. That's the beacon light that should be on. That's okay as well. We can turn on the avionics to see if those are working. Well, they are.
516 to Mike, taxi parking.
But we see that our transponder is set to 2233, and I'd like to set that at
6 Delta Mike, cross runway 20 left at hotel. Also,
I think I made a... Yeah, I made a keyboard shortcut to do that just with my keyboard, which is much more handy. All right. let me see. That is all set. Frequency going to set soon. Let's check the annunciator. That's okay. And this is all in sync. And again, no circuit breakers. We could also just lower the flaps to see if those are working, especially in preparation of the pre-flight check, external walk around, just to see them connecting rods and all the stuff there, which we cannot do with the stock airplane. But still, flaps are working. They go up and go down in sync, which is good. Message screen. Yeah, let's just turn that one off. Remember that I turned that one off, so I should turn it on before we start. And this is all good. Okay, avionics off. Then we can prime the engine. Fuel tank full. 1, 2, 3. Closed off. 1/4 inch in. Again, parking brakes are set. Fuel tank set to both. All right, we can start our engines. Let's also fasten our seat belts. Seat belt, because as always I'm also gonna fasten my real one here on my seat. Maybe with Spot, yeah, Dad, I know, but I don't know. I didn't mess with Spot at all, so I don't think that my rudder pedals just disconnected from that. I didn't do anything with it. Don't know. Also had some power issues a couple of days ago where I have so much devices and I used a USB hub and suddenly my switch panel disconnected from Spot. So it seems to be something like that, but I reconnected the USBs just directly to my computer. So I need to figure out what's going on here. Anyway, also make sure that my brakes then are also working, because if my let me see. Joystick, keyboard, brakes. Hold brakes regular. Hold brakes for this one? No. If I do this one? No. Let me just figure out a shortcut that's free still. Just B, no, and shift. Hold brakes, regular. Shift B. All right, shift B. All right. So that's our brakes, and we can steer with this. Okay, that's fine. So our engine is primed. That means that we can start our engine. Parking brakes are set. There's no one around, so clear prop. Mixture full in. Switch back to both. 1200, oil pressure is there, engine is warming up. Lean for ground. Expect a small dip there on the RPM, but not simulated, so that's okay. Alternator on, there's a rise in the M meter over here. Avionics on, let's set that to the mode C setting. Altitude mode, and we can now, we now can set our frequencies. So, what kind of frequencies do we need? Well, we need to get out of Palm Springs. 119.7 is the tower, so that's already set to the standby. We need ground first. Or actually, we need clearance, because this is a Charlie class airport. Even though we're not going to use flight following, we're still going to receive such kind of radar service. So. And we're going to leave the airport. If we just stay in close traffic, you can just sign in with ground first. But if you're going to leave the airport, you need clearance. Clearance. Let me see. What is clearance on Palm Springs? It should be there. Circle clearance. Let me go over here. Where is it? Palm Springs. Clearance delivery 128.35. 128.35 over there. Okay. That's set. Do we need any other radio navigation? Well, we could. I'm just going to rely on PilotEdge here. So I not like to, but let's just do in case shit hits the fan. And let's use 29 palms VOR. 114.2. Yeah. 114.2. That is set. Already got a reading, and because we're going to fly from the west to the east, we're going to set that to 0 9 already. So in case we need it, it's already set. Okay, switch that back to the standby frequency. Okay. Any other frequencies? Well, we need to have ADIS. What's the ADIS of Palm Springs? It is 118.25. So come to 118.25. And let's have a listen.
Palm Springs INTL information Whiskey. 1900 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10.
Good.
Sky clear. Temperature 14. Dew point -25. Altimeter 2988. Arriving runways 31 left. 31 right. Departing runways 31 left. 31 right. Advise on initial contact. You have Whiskey.
Okay, we've got Whiskey. Alright, winds calm. So same as we learned from our weather planning and weather forecast. Those are the high altitude clouds of 29 palms, which is just absolutely fine. Forza, nice hat, thank you. I work at Boeing. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, I actually ordered, to be honest, I ordered a new cap of a Cessna cap. That's going to be in next week, I believe. But still, I really like this cap as well. Okay, so this is all set, frequency set, right, altimeter is set. We can also set the heading bug, because I'm going to expect 30. Let's also have a very quick look at the taxi diagram, so we know what to expect for taxi, which is going to be very, very simple. We are currently over there, near the FBO, and I'm expecting to get this taxi. So it's going to be via Bravo to 31 right. That's what I'm going to expect with these winds calm. And we're going to go that way and leave to the north, which is just perfect. Now I'm going to ask for clearance, and what I'm going to add to my instruction or a request is that I would like to have negative flight following, because usually you get flight following when leaving a Charlie class airspace, but I don't need to, because I just want to fly via PilotEdge. I'm just going to say that, and we're still going to get assigned a squawk code, I think. We are still going to get assigned a departure frequency, but then as soon as we leave the airspace of Palm Springs, we're just going to be VFR, and the tower already knows, or the controller already knows what we're up to. That's the idea, at least. Let's see if I can still do this. Again, 128.35. 128.35. That's set. And ground is going to be 121.9. Set it in the standby. Okay, so that's going to be a northbound departure. Whiskey. We're currently at the east ramp, right? Anything else? Cessna Skyhawk, Slant Golf. No, ready to go. All right, so let's get started. And we're gonna fly. No, I'm not gonna request any altitude, right? I don't need to mention an altitude, I think, for departing, because I don't need flight following. Let's just see what happens. I almost forgot. Come on, radio, on. Let's listen for a gap. And there seems to be one right now. Palm Springs clearance. Good day, Sky Papatel Tango on your mic. Get his attention. Seems dodgy to me. 128.35.
PHTIM, clearance.
Yeah, Papatel Tango on your mic is a Cessna Skyhawk Slant Golf. We're currently at the east ramp here on Palm Springs with information Whiskey, looking for a northbound departure, negative flight following.
PHTIM, roger. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 5155.
Departure frequency 126.7 and squawk 5155 for Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Alright, so we still got a departure frequency, we still got a squawk as if you were requesting flight following at a regular Delta class airport, but that's just what bigger airports do. They just like to be little bit more in control. So with John Wayne Airport, Santa Barbara, any kind of departure out of the traffic area, you get assigned a departure frequency. Squawk codes, and now I really like this one. Away with that. I can just use my keyboard rather than just using my mouse, especially during flying, which is quite difficult. So 5155. No need to ident, just set that one, that's good as well. Now we only have got clearance to get away, so now we need to have taxi clearance. My standby frequency is now free, so I'm going to set that to the tower, which is 119.7 if I remember correctly. No, but I don't need to go to tower. Oh yeah, you know, go to tower to get clearance to depart, and then I need to go to departure. All right. That's set then. Yeah, we are ready to go. That's our taxi route, I believe. That we're gonna get Bravo. We've got winds calm. We know what we're gonna do. We are completely
Oscar
set.
Kilo Papa Golf. Request frequency change.
Okay, PVG.
Hey Steeler, good to see you. Welcome on the stream.
Frequency change approved. Okay, PVG. Thank you. Bye bye.
Palm Springs ground, Sky Papa Hotel Tango. India Mike is on the east ramp with information. Whiskey ready to taxi.
DHTIM, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 left, taxi via Whiskey Alpha.
231 left via Whiskey Alpha, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike. Alright, 31 left as a Cessna Skyhawk. So that means that we need to review just to be sure. Whiskey Alpha. Here we are. Whiskey Alpha.
Tower 5 Bravo Mike, we're clear to runway 30. Request taxi to parking, please.
Well, it's not depicted here, but I guess
5 Bravo Mike, taxi to parking via
this
Alpha.
is Whiskey and then Alpha.
Parking on Alpha 5 Bravo Mike.
And
Thanks.
then we're going to depart. Is there any other whiskey that we can see?
16, say again.
Well, I think he messed up because there's another whiskey.
16, scene. Roger, you clear to Daggett Airport via direct.
Clear.
And maintain
He thinks,
230.
I guess, that we are on the other side of the airport. So let's clear up so he knows that we are actually here.
Santa Maria Tower, Skyhawk 725 Romeo Juliet, inbound with information uniform 9 miles to the north for Category 4.
Air 725 Romeo Juliet, Santa Maria Tower, and a right downwind, runway 30, report midfield.
Right downwind, runway 30, report midfield 45 Romeo Juliet.
Palm Springs ground, Sky Papa Hotel Tango India Mike. We're actually on the east ramp. Could we also depart from 31 right, perhaps? Now he's looking on his radar, I guess.
Okay, PVG, SoCal approach, squawk 2001 IDAT. PHGIM, I heard you say west. We could do 31 right, or we could do 31 left via Alpha. It's a simple taxi either way. Which one you like?
We prefer 31 right via Bravo, if that's okay.
PHTM, roger, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo Bravo.
Via Echo Bravo to 31 right, Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Echo Bravo, yeah, that makes sense.
Delta 1616, contact Los Angeles Center 134.65.
Echo is on top there, as you can see. Okay. Just to be sure and no confusion, either inside or outside of the cockpit. Okay, so again, guys, we are all set. Lights are on, everything is set. Need to steer with my yoke. Squawk is set, frequency is set. Let's go. Brake test, Control B, Shift B. Shift B is brake. Okay, those work. My keyboard works. Feeling like driving a car right now. There we go.
Okay, PVG. You don't have any altitude restrictions, so you climb
Slow taxi.
like your radar contact 10 miles east to the Ontario Airport. Transition Charlie airspace at or above.
And again, guys,
3,000.
look at this photoreal scenery. Wow, wee. Yeah, let's get it out of that.
Delta
His way.
1616, center, maintain 9,000. The Daggett
3-1 right at
altimeter,
Bravo.
3002, expect visual approach.
I'd like to do a power check as well. Shift B and set my park brakes. Okay, mixture full in. Engine is already very warm, unbelievably warm. I would say that's a concern, but because it's stock, I believe it's okay. 1800, no annunciator messages. Again, oil pressure stable. Left mag within 100. Drop back to both. Right as well, similar. Back to both. That's good. Let's see if our ammeter, yeah, it charges our batteries. Our alternator works. And let's go to full idle and let's see if the oil pressure remains in the green. And that's also the case. We don't have any annunciator messages. Good. And back to 100. Fuel tanks are set to both. Trim is all set. Mixture set to rich. Landing lights on. Strobe lights on. Switch to tower and set our departure frequency already, which was 126.7. Gonna remind the tower that we're for northbound departure, just to help him. You should already know, but let's just make let's just be clear. No one is on the final. All right. Palm Springs Tower, Skyhawk, Papa Hotel Tango, and Mike is holding short 3-1 right at Bravo, ready for departure, northbound.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff, straight out departure approved.
Straight out departure approved, clear for takeoff, 3-1 right for Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Okay, parking brakes, release.
Rear ground, November 515.
There we go.
Transit parking requesting a northeast departure with Echo.
No rudder, Tim, no rudder.
Here, 515 Bravo Mike, Santa Maria ground, runway 30, taxi
via Alpha. 3-1 right, confirms with our heading indicator. There we go. See some traffic there on my 11 o'clock. Airspeed's alive, oil pressure is in the green, looks good. 60, rotates.
What pattern instruction were you given?
There we go.
Enter right downwind, report
VY
midfield,
is around
runway 30 for
knots.
5 Romeo Juliet.
5 Romeo Juliet, unfortunately that's going to be a fail. You're on the left downwind. Look to your left, you see the airport to your left, that means you're on the left downwind because you have to turn left to get to the runway.
Wait for the
right
tower
downwind,
to
two right turns to get to the
switch to
the
departure.
Runway 30, clear to land.
Understood, clear to land 30 for 5 Romeo Juliet.
Straight out departure, just keep on climbing.
And, 5 Romeo Juliet, did you complete the Cat 3 earlier?
Yes sir, for 5 Romeo Juliet.
No other traffic. Should go over there, I believe.
I don't fail that one as well, right? For 5 Romeo Juliet.
Say again?
I'm not going to fail that one too, right? For 5 Romeo Juliet.
I didn't enter it in. I can't remember. I thought you got disconnected, but I don't remember you taxiing in.
No, I did. I just yeah, screwed this one up for 5 Romeo Juliet.
Right. No, they're completely separate.
Need to go to departure.
You don't have to do the 3 again.
Right on.
Delta 1616, where are you heading there? You look like you overflew the Daggett Airport and kept going. Where you heading to?
Just gonna remind the tower in just a second, just by saying Papa Hotel taking a mic on a particular altitude.
Yeah, you were cleared direct, so that
clearly busy.
Deletes the
some traffic there to
Orca
Benning
and the Kepik. That doesn't exist anymore. You should have been direct Daggett Airport.
Again, engine looks
right, heading
good.
180.
We need to follow that highway that's to our right here. That should go to the north. I'm going to stick around 3,000, right? Because we're not going to go any higher. So that's a nice
Dell
altitude.
1661A will proceed direct tag at airport.
Wowee. Gorgeous. So there we are, 3,000. Let's level off. Palm Springs Tower, Sky Hotel Tango Mike is at 3,000.
PHCIM, your contact. Contact SoCal departure.
Over to departure, Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Switch! SoCal departure, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango Mike is level 3,000, northbound.
PHCIM, Sky departure, roger.
Roger.
Air 515 Bravo Mike, Santa Maria Tower, hold short traffic, short final.
I don't know if Roger now means that we could go to the north. But I guess we're not really on IFR, so... Because we were assigned the instruction to go with a straight out departure for Tower. Tower said that to us, and now we switched over to departure. I did remind him that we were going northbound. Let's just see what happens. In the real world I would ask, but I think we're free to do so. What do you guys think? Forza, is this the default aircraft? Yeah, it is. It's the default stock Skyhawk of X-Plane 11. Again, let's also lean a bit of the mixture, get that EGT nicely high up. And this is the highway.
Santa Maria Tower 75 Romeo Juliet, clear of runway 30 at
It's
Alpha
so pretty.
6, parking at Central Coast.
Air 5,
Turn
Bravo
off
Mike,
my
runway 30,
landing
quick
lights.
takeoff.
Also trim down a bit.
Air 5, Romeo Juliet, taxi parking be off.
2 parking B of Alpha 5.
And now
Romeo
this
Juliet.
highway here to the left should go up north soon. As you can see here, Morongo Valley is a checkpoint.
Dell 1616, report to airfield in sight, 12 o'clock and 20 miles.
Forza, what scenery looks jaw-dropping? Yeah, this is photoreal scenery downloaded. I use G2XPL.
Clear visual approach, tag at
It's
airport.
mind-blowing. Better than Orbix. It's, yeah, it's just really, it's about 400 gigabytes of data of the entire SoCal area. Or at least the usual traditional core area, not including the western expanded part. But that's fine by me as a Skyhawk flyer. I can see some traffic to the right there. Also, we need to stay wary because soon we're gonna cross over that military air route, right guys? So we need to be aware here. Over to that side and that side because they can come over it either way. Still, Tower is watching us right now. Let's go a little bit faster, by the way. A little bit more power, a little bit more nose down trim. Again, I'm
PHDIM, radar service terminated, squawk 54 for exchange approved.
going over to VFR. Papa Tating Mike, thanks for your help.
Or 2822 kilo, Yuma clearance.
Yeah, 1200.
Airport.
That works well.
The direct BARD.
Frequency change approved. Well,
Victor 458.
we should, I guess, just stick a little bit to Tower. I would like to know what's going on there.
Maintain 5,000, expect 12,000.
And we could switch over to
departure.
Yucca Valley.
Departure frequency 125.55, squawk 3626.
123.0. We're going to announce that we're going to overfly the airport so that anyone who's flying there knows that we are coming up. Highway's going up to the north, so we've got the right highway. It's also good when using visual reference points. I'm just reminding myself these things that you guys taught me during my previous streams.
Okay, PVG,
Ground
take on Money Tower 190.1.
To stay to the right
And
side
Gone
of
to
visual
the
reference
airport.
points.
Direct BARD.
Because then you
Victor
can see them much more easily here on the
458
left
to Imperial.
side than on the right side.
Then as filed. Climb maintain 5,000.
Expect 12,000
Sniper,
in 10 minutes.
I see you have customized the
Sparks on
dashboard with your logo. Have you done a livery through? Yeah, I did.
And I missed the squawk.
The Papa Hotel. Tango India Mike.
3626.
What a beauty.
Squawk 3626.
Going a little bit up north. Look at this scenery, guys. Again, jaw-dropping indeed. Make sure there's no military aircraft.
Tower, Oscar Kill Papa Victor Golf, 3 miles
put our landing lights on just in
field.
case.
Request full stop landing with Charlie.
Okay, PPG.
Now I'm flying higher than 3,000. Looking at my altimeter, but I'm not higher than 3,000 feet AGL because the terrain is also climbing, so that's okay. Sniper, cool, you won't miss that in the traffic patterns. No, exactly. Yellow Skyhawk. Exactly. Yellow is the color of my uncertified pilot project, as you might know. That's the high cloud layer. As soon as we crossed over here, I'm gonna switch to the CTF of Yucca Valley. Already very close. Let's see if we can already spot it. In the distance? Not yet. And again, this is also very nice of this photoreal scenery because all those airports are now very tucked into real scenery, so it's much harder to see like in the real world, which I really like.
Southwest 1050 Burbank clearance.
Yes, I'm using xEnviro 2.
Airport, Van Nuys 3 departure, Gorman transition.
Alright, switch CDF. We are now, look at the bottom, south of Yucca, or southwest of Yucca, it should be over there. We're currently at 3,500, we're going to fly over to the northeast. Yucca Valley traffic, Skyhawk Papa Hotel, Tango, India Mike is now at 3,500, around 5 miles southwest of the airport, going to overfly the field towards the northeast at 3,500, Yucca Valley. Again, I should not use my call sign because it has no use for other airplanes because they don't have a radar on board. So I should say Yellow Skyhawk, like Sniper already suggested. But this is, again guys, using this photoreal for me is not, it not only looks pretty, but it also stimulates my curiosity because now when I'm flying over SoCal, I'm actually looking for the first time over the scenery just to see what the real thing looks like. It's almost like flying over Google Earth. So you can see lots of stadium, also many more VFR reference points. See some traffic here in front of us. So it's very interesting. Even educational to some extent. Again, engine is looking good, fuel's good. Thank you for following, Kiki. Thanks. Welcome on board. Again, looking for the airport. I expected it to be over here already. That reminds me of other stuff that I need to nail because I don't have a really good sense of distance looking at charts. So I guess we're only flying around this area right now, and that Yucca Valley is behind this, over this hill. So usually I think the distance is actually greater looking at the charts, at least in my perception. Also, if I use the ruler here. Yeah, that's the one that I should have done. I should just use the ruler here because if I use the visual point and the Yucca Valley, you can see it's a 10 nautical mile distance. To me, just viewing the map, I thought, wow, it's about 5 nautical miles. P3D, welcome on the stream. Thank you for following. So I guess we're now around 7 nautical miles. Yucca Valley traffic, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango India Mike is 7 nautical miles southwest of the airport, currently around 4,000 feet. Gonna overfly the airport to the northeast at 4,000, Yucca Valley. Again, I mentioned my call sign, not my color. What I also like, but this more related to X-Plane, is that, oh yeah, you can see here, this is a bug of xEnviro, this black haziness here. Thank you for following, Kiki. For hosting, sorry, thanks. Much appreciated. This blackness here, this black cloud or haziness here.
Take traffic landing runway 04.
Did not catch what the airport was. That's why when you're doing on announcements on CTEF, you should always repeat the airport name at the end of your transmission, so there's no confusion where the other guy is, or other aviator is, I should say. But again, you can see this is a bug, and I think that the xEnviro team is already working on that as well. A little bit unrealistic. So, looking for Yucca Valley. Let's see on what side it is. It should actually be just on the road, almost. I think a little bit north of the road. So it should be over there, I guess. Let's do another announcement because we're nearing the airport. So anyone that now has jumped into his airplane might not have catched our previous transmission. Yellow Skyhawk. Yucca Valley traffic. Yellow Skyhawk is 3 miles west of the airport at 4,000. Gonna cross over at 4,000 to the northeast. Yucca Valley. I think that's the runway. Again, we are entering or venturing out to a lot of golf courses here. Deserty terrain. Quite different from the Bakersfield area and obviously LA, downtown LA. And again, what I still find so unbelievable is if I look down here, you see so much traffic, cars and things driving. Well, in P3D with my current computer that was impossible, or I could, but then I was streaming with 15 frames per second or so. This is really, really great. Oh yeah, and what I would like to say was, sooner or earlier was that I really like that the autogen data of X-Plane, just the default autogen, really fits well with the photoreal scenery. So as you can see here, the photoreal, here there's a road here, that highway that we're following, and the autogen actually fits right on top of it, which really adds the to the realism. You can see there are some deviations. Let's see here, but generally though, it looks really well. There's the airport. Yucca Valley traffic. Skypop Hotel Tango Mike is crossing over the field at 4,300, going to the northeast. Yucca Valley. Yellow Skyhawk. Elios, good to see you, man. Welcome on board. Yeah, you're right. The autogen in X-Plane is based off OpenStreetMap, and it's really very realistic. Desert all around. Now, one thing that is not that safe to do, that I just reminded myself of, is it's nice to fly low because then you can really look at the scenery in this way. But a disadvantage is when we have an engine out, we don't have that much room or airspace or altitude to glide to our alternate. And that's why it's important to stay up high. So now with an engine out, I would actually, well, perhaps I could make the, well, I could make Yucca Valley, but soon I will not be able to, and I just need to ditch down here on the road. So next time, pick a higher altitude. Tim? Elios, recommend getting the V35 with the Reality Expansion Pack. Yeah, I know. Well, actually, to be honest, I'm hoping and kind of expecting SimCoders to release a Reality Extension Pack edition for the Skyhawk. So I stick to this airplane and just hope that they will. They're gonna release some new updates, new products soon, and that will be awesome. Then we've got real proper engine behavior and that kind of stuff here. But I never flown the default Skyhawk either in FSX or prepared, but here in X-Plane it's okay. I missed the pre-flight though, but with doing the external walk around. Also, engine behavior is a bit off, so there are some things that I'd like to see improved, but it's not too bad. And again, I just love the sounds and the looks. The Papa Hotel Tango Mic, I think, is really, really pretty. Based off a real paint of an AOPA Cessna 150, I believe, or 152. Got me inspired to use the same livery, but then for the Papa Hotel Tango Mic. Making a turn there, which is not bad because we like to stay here to the south side of this road so we can follow it. Let's also have a look at the map, because we now passed Yucca Valley. Again, there should be Williams, should be to the left side. I can already see Williams, I think. Here. Looks like a... Bucks, thank you for following. Much appreciated. Thank you, welcome on board. Yeah, so that's Williams. And then we're just going to follow the highway. It's very, very simple. 29 Palms. And just fly into 29 Palms Airport. 1 to 2.8. We can switch to that CTEF already. Ideally, you should already announce around 2 nautical miles before you reach the airport. Well, we're currently at 22. So 10 would be... No, I just like to use the ruler, guys. Yeah. 10 should be around that obstacle. Or just after the lake. Yeah, somewhere around there. And we're gonna just do a straight in landing on 08, I think. Which is the left hand. Oh, we're drifting off. Yeah. Okay. Again, simple flights. But I like simple flights. And again, guys, I haven't been flying for a long time, let alone just navigating. Just starting with the basics again, but not in a that's long of time. I'm really trying to prepare for that Cat 7 rating and just push up, because I'm really looking forward to getting doing my I rating exams, my IFR exams on PilotEdge. But still, I'm going to do another interesting project, side project in between that I'm going to stream, and I think you guys will really, really like. Just keep that a secret still, but and I think I can already see 29 Palms in front of us there. I see some lights. Yep. Let's use our binoculars. I think it's over there. It's on the south side of the road. Well, that might be the case. There's no other airport that should be over there, so okay. Also, there should be a lake after Williams, but lakes here do not necessarily need to be blue lakes. They can also be dried out lakes. What I do see is that the city starts here. This is also a great advantage, I think, of using photoreal, is that the urban areas, the city areas, are much more, well, obviously realistic, and you can use them in a much more reliable way. And prepared, for example, even with Orbix, regional and OpenLC, cities could already start to build over here, and I sometimes mistaken my location because of that. But now I see the exact same thing as what I would see on my ForeFlight. So it also has a practical purpose rather than just it looks pretty. It's also quite handy. So that means that we're already reaching the city here, so already past that 10 nautical mile distance, and I currently see 29 Palms there. So let's say about 8 nautical miles. 5,700 inbound. We're going to go for the straight in 08. I'm not going to do the straight in because it's never good to do a straight in on an untowered airport, because first you like to know whether other people are there. There could be airplanes that are not on the radio that we like to spot first. There are also, when you really venture out into in new terrain, also the runway might not be in good condition, and you can just overfly the airport just to make sure that that's okay. You can also inspect the windsock, have a more local idea of what the winds are doing. So let's stick to those real-world procedures because they are really, really cool and they are relevant. And that's what I like to do here on the Uncertified Pilot channel, as you guys know. So 08, does that make sense still, or should we just pick another runway instead? Because we can also pick the 26. We did have F8 is right, or meter I mean. Flight category unknown. Okay, there is a meters here. I didn't know. 330 at 06 knots. So yeah, then we're gonna pick 26. So we're gonna use the left hand 26. Left hand, yeah. We're gonna enter the downwind. So we're gonna stick here to the south side of 29 Palms over there, and just go over there and then make a left turn and enter the 40-degree entry, which is the standard kind of entry approach. Yeah, okay, 228, yeah. 29 Palms traffic, Skyhawk, yellow Skyhawk, currently at 4,800. We are about 6 nautical miles west of the airport, and we're gonna enter the left downwind for runway 26 for a full stop. 29 Palms. Hey, the top team! Welcome on the stream. Again, look at this terrain, guys. And it's not even the highest resolution that I could download. If I would, these tiles would become so great. I only have a 500 gigabyte Steeler, thank you for hosting, man. Thanks. I only have a 500 gigabyte SSD card, which is also quite useful with using this amount of data, photoreal data. Look at this. This is actually what 29 Palms looks like, the area. What's the airport elevation of 29 Palms? 1800, alright, 1900. So at 1,000, so 2,800 or 2,900 is going to be our traffic pattern altitude. Yeah, Elios, yeah, exactly. So you could, yeah, so if you use a more zoomed in, kind of more detailed resolution, well, obviously then you won't have a 400 gigabyte file of the SoCal area, or the core SoCal area, but you would have 800 gigabytes or so. And to me, honestly, I tried out a few tiles using and exploring the differences between those. I didn't really see the difference. Mostly when you are departing or arriving at an airport, you might see it, but to me, it didn't make any difference at all. So I thought that this was just great. Especially when you're an airliner pilot, you won't know the difference at all. Forza traffic pattern altitude is 1100, right? Now it's usually 1,000 feet above AGL. So what I did was I just looked at the chart here, and you can see 1,800 airport elevation, or 1,900, and I added 1,000 to get the MSL altitude. So that's going to be 2,900. We can also start our descent already. And again, guys, 60 frames per second now. I hope you notice the difference. Especially with TrackIR, it's nice to have more fluency there, smoothness in my turns. So, again, we need to do another call because, again, some might be arriving 29 Palms and didn't hear our last transmission because they were on other frequency, or there might be new pilots jumping in their cockpits, just to give them some heads up. So currently we are at this, you just look at the bottom, or the inverse. So the airport is there, so I'm looking at this side of my compass to infer my location. 29 palms traffic. Yellow Skyhawk is now at 4,500 at the southwest of the airport. Going to enter the left downwind for runway 26 for a full stop. 29 palms. Meeson Mike, the difference with 60 frames per second is that I'm dropping more frames. Yeah. Well, I hope the quality of my stream is okay. I really extensively tested the stream. And the priority actually is with my own frame rates here. So if I notice a lagging here in my X-Plane, I won't stream on that with that quality. But I don't notice anything. So that's great. Again, that's the GTX. What is it? 1080 that I'm using. So it is quite a strong graphics card. But again, look at the scenery. Here we are. 40-degree entry. Landing lights on, strobe lights are still on. Let's put our mixture full in. Good. And remember myself that my rudders are inactive, so it's all yoke stuff. So when I land, I need to brake also with Shift B. Hope that my rudder isn't broke or something, but my pedals are broken. There we go. Need to descend quite a bit. John Fly, welcome, man. Welcome on the stream. Yeah, X-Plane. I told you already. X-Plane 11. I'm done, John Fly. It's X-Plane from now on. I changed my site on UncertifiedPilot.com to X-Plane. I mean, X-Plane 10 I already tried, as you know, which was cool as well. But X-Plane 11 did the trick. This is it. This is it. So, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it, Jeff. I also still enjoying your streams, and it's good to see some examples or demonstrations of how well X-Plane looks. Still, I'm looking for updates of xEnviro, and I'm not really that pleased with the Airflow Labs, even the updated one. And I don't like the team. They still release buggy software. I like to see a SimCoders Cessna 172. I poked those guys several times, and I'm just waiting for them. So I'm using the stock Skyhawk, and I'm just gonna wait. Alright, there's the ramp. Here's the runway. 26, yeah. And this is our traffic pattern altitude. We're already below 100 knots. So that means that we can... thank you for hosting, John Fly. Much appreciated, man. So that means we can put in 1 notch of flaps. 29 palms. Traffic. Yellow Skyhawk is now entering the left downwind for runway 26 for a full stop. 29 palms. There we go. Sink a little bit. Let's stay on traffic pattern altitude, Tim, and keep that speed up. Around 90 knots is okay for downwind. Again, look at this scenery, guys. Even desert looks cool. A little bit too close to the runway. That base turn is going to be quite steep, and also the distance to pick away from the runway is just based on an engine out. If you've got an engine out, do you have enough altitude to reach the runway, which is usually about a mile, half a mile of the airport. So I'm just going to stick a little bit to this. Is okay. Yeah, I know, Elias. Aerosim, John Fly also referred me to that file to make the stock. And I did install it, but I removed it while I was doing stuff with my X-Plane folder. So I should use that as well. But still, I'm looking forward for a SimCoders one. Wow, wow, wow. Just desert looks awesome. Okay, let's make that turn. Still, we are nicely... yeah. 29 palms, traffic, yellow Skylining, turning left base for runway 26, full stop, 29 palms. Now I'm focusing on my airspeeds, like to keep that in the wide, thick band, which I'm barely in. So I can set another notch of flaps. That's 26, there's the runway, should already continue my turn, I'm already too high. Second notch of flaps. Much too high. Well, let's see whether we can do this. Watch that speed. And again, guys, not coordinating your flight here, your turns here with a low airspeed while you're looking outside is one of the most frequent, often cases when people stall and crash. It's from the base to final turn, uncoordinated, low speed turns. Ah, we're gonna make this. 29 palms. Traffic. A yellow Skyhawk is now final 2-6. Full stop. 29. Trimming, because I'm pulling on that yoke. Again, trimming before you touch down is the magic to a great touchdown. $60 is okay. Still a little bit nose up. Windsock we could have checked while we were in the pattern. Didn't do that. So there's a very subtle winds calm. It's actually winds calm. Mouse, go away. Cursor, go away. Okay, far end of the runway. Throttle gone, throttle gone, throttle gone. Nose up. Not too bad. Use my yoke to steer because my pedals don't work. And I'd like to get off of this taxiway. Oh my gosh, this is so ugly. Braking with my keyboard. That's what I did when I was 10 with FS9. Alright, we're off of the runway. Lean for ground. Flaps are already up. Landing lights off. Strobe lights off. No one here. Good. 29 palms traffic. A yellow Skyhawk is clear of 26. 29. Oh, the scenery is not okay. The textures here. Look at this. Yuck. No, I should go to the left, I guess. Well, let me see. This is nice, though. Whoa, not gonna hit my wing there. Let's park over here again. Shift B. Over here, over here, over here, over here, over here. Over here. A little bit more power. A little bit more power. A little bit more power. Come on. Yeah. Shift B. That's fine. Fine. Parking brakes set. Transponder was set to 1200, so that's okay. Still VFR. And let's close this baby down. And that's it. Open the door. And we are at 29 palms. Which was a great flight, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Interesting. Let's have a look at the review of my landing. Let's have a close look. Alt-R. Also like this in Explain. The recorder. Something very simple, but, well. Play. Shift 4. Yeah, my door is still open. I don't care. Can I just close it while I'm in the... Yes, I can. There we go. There's the airport. There we are. Much too high, as you can see. Wow. John Fly, I have yet to see the new HD CSF PA for the... Yeah, absolutely. I also look forward to those. John? Alright, turning from final to base. Again, the most dangerous turn of all. Lights are on. Nice. Let's see what happens. This is John Fly's favorite view. I like it too, but I really like this one as well. Nice sounds. There we go. Alright. Thank you for hosting, Rob. Thanks. Much appreciated. Thank you, Vel dudes. Thank you, guys. All right, here we go. So, main wheels first. These wheels should touch first. Nice, 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 nice. Well, that's okay. I should have liked to see a much longer flare, but it was okay. And not centerline because, yeah, my pedals. Again. Now from the tower. I also like the tower view. I don't know why. It just gives an idea that there was actually someone in the tower watching. What I also like to do is, as some of you already know, is just on PilotEdge, not flying at all, but just being on PilotEdge on X-Plane, and just sit. Oh yeah, the shadow doesn't fit, I guess, because of this weird scenery, or it's hard to see whether I made a great landing. But just to sit in the tower and just watch incoming and outbound traffic, and just watch. One more time. Just one more time. And then from this side, from, yeah. Jump fly. Shift 3 is my friend. Yeah. But again, I really love the view mechanic of X-Plane. It works really well. Alright, there we come. Nose is a little bit pointed to the right, so we are a little bit crabbed, I guess, from the wind here. So I should have put in a little bit more left rudder, and that explains why we shifted to the right when we landed. Thank you for following, Slaza. So you can see, and there we went to the right. It wasn't because of my yoke problem, it was just because I didn't correct for my crabbing position. Interesting. Yeah, so I should focus more on the where my nose points to, so I can correct for that. She's so beautiful. Wow. Even such a yellow paint looks good. Everything looks good in X-Plane. Okay, so now finally, just as the last thing that I'd like to do is again to, well, we could just stick to this position, doesn't really matter. Let me see. Quit the recorder. I'd like to go mode C. No, not that mode C, but the viewpoint C. And then I'd like to see the, is it Shift P? Control P? I think it was Shift P. Or was that part of the flight recorder? Control P? Control P. Yeah, I'd like to see my flight path. Boom. Yeah, so here we came. This is also very, very insightful, I think. So we came along, we followed the road. We then made that turn to enter with the 40 degree on this runway. Looks good, but we're much too high. As you can see, we're very, very close. Very, very close to the airfield. And I corrected for that, as you can see, by turning a little bit more to the right here, but that's not really a pretty thing to do. Is there a way just to go a little bit quicker, or to travel a little bit quicker with these views? I don't know. I mean, I'm using shift, but it's not that quick. And again, there is Palm Springs in the distance. Yeah, over there. So we took off, we followed all the way down to here. Perhaps we can just do this. My airplane would be over there, and I could just go like this. This is our departure. And from this point on, I can use C and go up and have a look here. Yeah, that's the way to do it, I guess. Also, what I didn't do, which I should do, is disconnect.
Disconnected.
I was still connected on PilotEdge, so my airplane was actually suddenly at Palm Springs, which is not a good thing. Yeah. So I took off. 3-1 right. There I go. Again, the tower didn't know that I was actually on the east ramp. Well, I did do my announcement right, I think. They weren't that... well, the controller didn't know or hear me correct, so it was good that I was noticing that and asked for 3-1 right here. Made more sense according to my parking position. Float got straight out. And yeah, when I was straight out and I was handed over to departure, I didn't know whether I should still stick to straight out. But I didn't hear the tower complain, and still I'm VFR, so I think I was just free to go north as I announced when I requested my departure. So I think I did well. Yes, awesome. Okay, let's go back to the finishing position there and hop into the cockpit, or let's just look here. And yeah, the textures are a little bit weird. Shift P, Control P, Control P it is. Should remember that. Yeah, these textures are not in sync at all. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching the stream. My new stream here made a little bit more fancy. My new livery, made a first flight to practice some pilotage, some navigation here. Went well, but still I need to practice a bit more. Hoping to see you in one of my new streams very, very soon. Palm Springs Tower, Skylane, Hotel Tango, your mic is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000 with information X-ray for a full stop, landing 13 left if that's available.
Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, Squawk 6250.
6250.
Hotel Tango, India Mike. Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 13 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance, plus 4658 is type P6 minus land call, request clearance to Vegas S5.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S-file, I'll be forward stepping. Plus 4658 is cleared to Las Vegas Airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2, 405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expect to 40 after 5, departure 167, squawk 6316 plus or 600.
Plus 4658, readback is correct. Tango India Mike, taxi to ramp via Echo, remain this frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Delta India Mike.
Ontario Tower.